Right. Would you like to count us down on this special Halloween episode of Attempted Topics?
At night. 5,
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
Bum 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 bum.
Make him the cutest that I've ever seen.
Bum 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 bum.
Give him 2 lips like roses and clover.
I almost did it.
Tell him that his lonesome nights are over.
You know what? I might do a Halloween.
Don't have nobody.
I might do a Halloween medley to start this episode.
Halloween sing along.
Your magic beam.
Go for it.
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock.
Bear with us as we play
Halloween,
My favorite.
the greatest hits of the Halloween franchise.
Halloween, silver shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the horror-thon.
So far, we got one song from the first 3 movies now. Bear with us as we have a quick jam session to the greatest hits of the Halloween franchise.
Just strolling down a memory lane.
Gotta give love to the zombie remakes.
Yes.
Nights in white satin,
We'll slow it down a little bit.
never reaching the end. Letters
We got DJ Rims here playing the greatest hits of the Halloween franchise.
I'm waiting for that one song.
with these eyes before.
Such a good song.
Just what the truth is. I can
This is the first time we recorded at night in a while.
I know, I'm surprised it's working.
Don't say that.
Oh. There it is.
I remember Rob Zombie once actually kind of promoted them as a real band.
Yeah.
Didn't work out.
I love when songs are made specifically for a movie. I mean, that's really good.
All right, and a greatest hits of the Halloween franchise will not be complete without the Halloween theme.
No, would not.
This version of the theme was missing in the new one. Did you notice that?
No.
They kind of slowed it down, I believe. The 2018 theme I actually really liked.
Yeah.
It was like a revamped version of the original theme.
Yeah, I like that too. I like White Horse also.
I do too. We'll be here all night
Yeah.
if I play all my favorite songs from the Halloween franchise. Halloween 3 intro, like it's a lot of it's like a lot of just beeping, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
Halloween, so Michael Myers theme is like randomly has like electric guitars going through it because it was the mid '90s.
Oh yeah. Not the best one.
Yeah. 4, 5, and Resurrection actually had a good theme. Rob Zombie remake actually had a good Halloween theme. Halloween 2, the original one, was strange. It sounded like way different from the original one.
I can't really remember it.
Anyway, welcome to episode 38 of Attempted Topics. I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Steven.
And we will be discussing the newly released Halloween Kills
Brand new.
from 2021. We literally just got back home from movie theater like less than an hour ago. This is the first time we've actually done this, and we actually don't have. I don't have notes or anything.
Me neither, and we don't have the plot line.
I don't even think the plot synopsis is available right now. So try. Yeah, on IMDb it says you have the option to add a synopsis, but but yeah, we'll go through it.
Yeah, we'll just go through the movie and see what happens.
Might get some details wrong, and yeah, but so right now, Rotten Tomatoes has this at 48%. That is just from the critic point of view.
Yeah, I saw some Letterboxd reviews too, and I was like, very confused.
the audience score is at 84% right now. So critics have it at 54, audiences have it at critics have it at 48, audiences have it at 84, but
they just flipped it.
Yeah, they just flipped the numbers. But could change, and I'm sure it will. 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb, but it only has 1,500 votes, and it's so just a bunch of random people giving it 10 out of 10, and
yeah,
before the movie even comes out.
Mhm.
So, like I said, these are our initial reactions. So they are
our raw, unfiltered opinions.
They are
that are subject to change.
Yeah, because I'll be the first to admit, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is my second favorite in this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I saw that movie in theaters, I did not like it. I went home depressed. I spent all summer excited for that movie. I got home, or I went to see it in the movie theater. It was not good upon first viewing. I went home depressed, and went back to see it a few days later. And
see, I remember I liked that even the first time.
I remember shaking my head when Michael Myers was stabbing the nurse, and he was like screaming.
Mm-hmm.
I remember shaking my head when they showed him in the barn without the mask, talking to his mother.
And now we love all of it.
Yeah.
It was a risk, and I think it was a risk well paid off. But a lot of people do not.
It was. So, first impressions on Halloween Kills would be that I think less than an hour after getting home right now, I think it is my third favorite in the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying not to let the, I guess, the high of just seeing it
Yeah.
kind of
And
of s-
for me, I had it at my fourth favorite.
okay. So, and obviously the original would be one for both of us,
Yeah.
and then like I said, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Mm-hmm.
So so take my rating for um what you will, because I know a lot of Halloween fans don't like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and here I am saying it's the second best in the franchise, and then I'm saying Halloween Kills would probably be my third favorite.
Yeah, we have the same first and second one. I just said Rob Zombie's first one would be better than Halloween Kills, but I'm not 100% sure yet.
I would probably definitely say it's better than Rob Zombie's Halloween, but um yeah, the trying to think of like anything that I would want to say about like plot wise and everything. So we are going to spoil the
Yeah,
entire movie.
there'll be a lot of spoilers in here, so heads
So
up.
if you haven't seen the movie, um,
Go to the theaters or peacock it,
yeah, um,
and then come back.
yeah, it lives up to the title, Halloween Kills. This is probably the most brutal Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only competitions would probably be,
Rob Zombie.
probably Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Yeah.
The curse of Michael Myers might be a little bit more, or might be there in the list of those brutal Michael Myers, but I think this is the most brutal we've seen him.
Yeah.
We'll get to it, but I'm very torn on the ending,
Me too.
and I understand why they killed who they killed, because it kind of had to be that way.
Some of them I did not want them to die. Now,
Yeah,
this movie
and that,
actually fixed what I felt about Halloween 2018, where I felt like a lot of the characters were flat. I didn't really care about them.
Hmm.
This one, the ones that lived, I thought they fixed basically everybody that lived in the last one.
Yeah.
One.
I
Then the new characters and the returning characters, I liked all of them for the most part.
so I want to say, like, almost right off the bat, that I think she wants to go this way, and I don't. I listened to an interview, and she recently said that she would love to do it. But Andy Matichak, who plays Alison Strode, sticks to,
Mhm.
and not sticks just to horror movies, but like if she keeps taking on these horror movies, I think she could be like a modern day Jamie Lee Curtis,
Yeah.
in the sense of like this kind of mainstream actress, because I think I'm sure she could do more than just horror. I've only seen her in a few things. It would be like this mainstream actress, kind of sticking to horror movies, and I don't know. I just feel like she's. I watched the 2018 one earlier today before I went to see this, and she's probably, her and Jamie Lee Curtis and James Jude Courtney, who plays Michael Myers, are
Mhm.
the three best things in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's probably the same thing with Halloween Kills. I mean, I don't want to say Jamie Lee Curtis is the best thing in Halloween Kills, because she doesn't really do much.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, it was almost like what Halloween 2 should have been.
That's what I thought too, because she she doesn't do much because she just suffered like this horrific attack,
Yeah.
and but there's a bunch of characters like around her, and like a bunch of characters involved that can kind of take the attention off of Laurie Strode. So like
Yeah.
Laurie Strode can rest and recover. But we still have a plot of characters that we care about, like Allison and Tommy Doyle, and you know,
Yeah.
kind of keep the story moving.
I like that she kind of had to come to terms and realize that Michael really didn't care about her. And he still doesn't, and he's not targeting her.
You said she did come to terms with that?
She, like, kind of had to. By the end of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm just forgetting it, but I don't really think there was a scene of her. Like, I know that she was told that, but I would have liked to get, like, oh, I wasted my whole life thinking this guy was coming for me.
Yeah.
And
Or at
he
least
never
she
was.
was. At least she was told, and she was made aware that this is kind of the case. Like, he doesn't. He's gonna do whatever he wants.
Yeah. I am happy that we wiped our hands of the whole Dr. Sartain story.
Yeah.
Earlier today I looked up the actor who played Dr. Sartain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean he did a good job for playing Dr. Sartain, but it's just I just don't like the character.
Yeah.
Like, I looked him up, make sure that he wasn't in this movie, because I was like, yeah, I do not want Sartain in this thing.
And if he is, I have to mentally prepare.
I don't want to go back to Smith's Grove. We might do in the next one, considering we went back to 78 in this one. But like, I don't want to go back to Smith's Grove and see like Dr. Sartain taking over for Dr. Loomis, and
Yeah.
there being like a 30-year-old Michael Myers that Dr. Sartain is like trying to and everything.
Now, I've really, really loved the flashbacks.
I was gonna say I don't really want to go through the plot beat for beat, because I feel like we'll just forget a lot of things.
Yeah.
So
this is kind of like a review episode more than anything else.
Yeah, it's kind of like what we did with Detroit Become Human, where we just kind of
like
we're not going to go through the plot beat for beat like we normally do. But yeah, we could start with the flashback, because that is where the movie starts, if you want to go there.
I thought everything was done probably the best way that it's ever been done in these movies, besides the original Halloween 1 and 2, where everything feels like you could watch Halloween and then you could actually put the flashbacks on and it still feels like the same atmosphere in the same movie. I mean, you'll notice the difference with like the camera quality and all that, because 1979 to 2021, but
you were like, say I worked for, like, say I was Jason Blum or like whoever at a studio or something, and you were like you came to me and were like, hey, I want to remake Halloween. That's probably what I'll be looking for.
Yeah.
Like, Rob Zombie's was good for what it was. That was a different era where we were getting horror movie remakes like that.
Yeah.
But it's like I would almost want to go back to 1978, just like reboot it there. Because there's a lot of things that are wrong with slasher movies to the point where they can't exist in modern days because like cell phones are such a prominent thing now. So
Yeah.
it's like in Halloween 2018, they needed to find a way to get Allison's phone away from her because she's
She has to kind of go missing.
yeah, because she's a senior in high school, so they were looking for a way to get her phone away from her, and Cameron throws it in a bowl of pudding or whatever.
Or whatever that was.
So yeah, if like it's even The Mask and I don't know the guy's name off the top of my head. His name is Aaron Armstrong, I think that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
He played Michael Myers in 1978. Like in this movie,
Oh,
he played had a different actor play present day Michael Myers. And they had a like James Jude Courtney played present day Michael. This guy Aaron Armstrong played younger Michael.
Flashback Michael.
Yeah. I do like going back there. Like even like the way it's lit and it's shot, like it looks straight from that first movie.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me frustrated even more with the 2018 movie because this is the same director and the same writers who did that movie. They're showing us that they could do like that atmosphere of the original movie. So why didn't you do it there?
Yeah, they should have did it in the first one.
But it's almost like how do I want to say it? Kind of are no longer attached to that first movie now.
Mm-hmm.
So like the aesthetic and the lighting, this movie you can forgive it because it's not as attached to the first movie as this one or as the previous one. So like for example, you're not telling me you're making a sequel to like Halloween 5 or something where everything's off the wall and you could do whatever you want with this thorn and whatever.
Yeah.
Telling me you're making a sequel to that movie from 1978. So why do you have hardly any of that atmosphere from that movie?
Yeah, I agree.
But with this movie, like Halloween Kills, the world feels more lived in. Characters feel more I want to describe it.
Out.
Yeah. And
like they have more of a personality this time.
Yeah, and even if you're, because I mean, I guess it is kind of like we had less time to get to know like Allison Strode and everybody, so like it's like now we know them. Like the first movie was introducing them. Now it's like okay, we know them, and they know what they're doing, and they know what they have to do.
Mm-hmm.
But, so how did you feel about going back to the Myers house in the flashback?
I liked all of it. Everything felt exactly the same. They even had the window broke exactly how it broke. Like I've paid attention to all the details like that too.
The dead dog.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of Michael Myers killing and then going home.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the original movie, the last shot of the movie is the Myers house.
Yeah.
As like he falls off the balcony, disappears, and then they show different spots around town.
Mm-hmm.
The last shot they show is the Myers house.
Yeah.
So I do like that.
And it's so
Uh,
much better in comparison to the house in like every other movie. Like I don't know if it's impossible to get. It's not obviously not impossible to get the same or make it look as close as possible because this one looks exactly the same. But like Halloween 5, for example, and then Halloween 6,
yeah,
like
like
there's no way those houses are the same.
yeah, that
Even in Rob Zombie's 1 and 2, it's different because it's very close kind of, but it's like in the country in part 2 and it wasn't in the first one.
and if you notice in the first movie, the first Rob Zombie movie, they broke the balcony.
And it was fixed.
In the second movie, it was fixed.
Yeah.
I like the idea of well, I mean, I'm kind of torn on it because they kind of hinted at Michael being a supernatural being in this movie,
Yeah.
which I don't like. But I like the idea of this, like, I think he would have been 21 or something like that. Like this
Mhm.
21-year-old on this killing spree with like tiny hints that he's supernatural.
Yeah.
It's like he's in the sheets in the clothesline and then he's gone.
Yeah.
Like they hint that he's supernatural, but he's probably not. So
And they kind of hinted at it again in this one.
I like the idea of this guy just being surrounded by cops and him being like, yeah, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Glad you caught the line better than I did.
Which one?
Because I cringed in the movie theater when we were back in
Oh.
70 when we were in 78 and the cop says something like, I knew Michael Myers when he was young. He used to pick the wings off butterflies or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you caught it and said that was a rumor. So
Yeah, I think he said something about when he hung out with him, all he ever did was stare out of his sister's window.
because I don't want to with this Michael Myers, I don't want to learn that he was just like this weird deranged kid.
Yeah.
That was for the Rob Zombie movies, so
Yeah.
you could leave it there. And even get Dr. Loomis in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's enough to where I could be impressed with this Dr. Loomis, but he like kept off the screen enough to where I don't have to be like got this lousy replacement to play this iconic character.
Yeah, I thought they did well with that. Because they could have easily just brought that guy in and be like, hey, you're going to play Dr. Loomis and you're going to be in like half the movie. They just showed him very briefly.
And I like the shot of Michael surrounded by the cops. And it does that shot from the opening scene of the original movie
Mm-hmm.
where Michael's standing outside of the house and the camera zooms out. So I don't know if you know this, but it's called I think it's called a tableau shot. So in the original movie, when Michael is standing outside of the house and his parents are just standing there with him,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, like-
people are like, why would you act like that when your son just walked out with a knife or whatever? The idea behind that shot is that it
Isn't it where like everything freezes around you?
yeah, you explained it better than I would have. It's pretty much a picture.
Yeah.
Everyone has to be froze, and unfortunately, his parents chose to move during the tableau shot.
Yeah.
And I think his mom puts his hands in her pocket puts her hands in her pockets or something like that.
Yeah, she does.
And unfortunately, it ruined the tableau shot. Now it's like people get the false perception that that was their true reaction to it, when in reality, it was just like a freeze frame. Then you zoom out
Yeah.
the Myers house. So they do that same shot as Michael as a 21-year-old being surrounded by the police. We later find out in the movie there was more after that,
Mm-hmm.
and Michael was brought to his knees and pushed down, and his mask was ripped off, and Dr. Loomis was going to shoot him in the head,
And he's about to be executed.
and Officer Hawkins ended up stopping Dr. Loomis from shooting him. I didn't catch what he said. Did Hawkins say something about he could picture was that Michael was somebody's kid?
Oh, yeah, that he didn't. He still saw him technically as a human, and he still saw him as somebody's baby. So he didn't think he deserved to be executed, even though he killed people.
I was hoping I heard that wrong, but yeah.
Because he was a new cop at this time, so he was. They basically, because you know how he accidentally shot his partner, so you know he's like a brand new cop.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have the same, like, I guess the other cops, they didn't care if he was executed because he killed people. So they were more hardened. They've probably seen more than he did. And since he was new, I guess he just had that mindset to where, oh, he doesn't deserve to be executed because all life is precious.
He wasn't yet.
Quoting Morgan from The Walking Dead.
he wasn't yet a crooked cop, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much right after that, he becomes crooked because one of his partners is like, we're gonna change the story and say that this cop accidentally shot himself in the neck.
Mhm.
Which
Yeah.
I don't know if
I feel like he was more so forced to lie about that.
yeah, probably.
Because I feel like everybody would have sided with the actual crooked cop, and he would have been charged or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we're just gonna say we're cool, and he shot himself by accident.
So I think that's all I got on the flashback. I mean, we could probably jump back to it if we need to, because we're not going in order or anything.
Yeah.
What did you think about this opening?
The flashback or just the opening credits?
No. Yeah, the opening credits.
I like them. They still felt true to the first one. I liked the 2018 one a lot. How they, like, the original pumpkin from the first one was like brought back.
Mm-hmm.
It was like rotted, but it was like reverse.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to spend a lot of time on it just because it's the opening credits. But
Yeah.
1, 2, like the original 1 and 2, and then 2018, and then this new one open with like this zoom in on a pumpkin, and I'm sure anyone that's listening has seen knows what we're talking about. I thought this was the worst one out of the 4. Don't like I just would have zoomed in on one pumpkin that was on fire. I wouldn't have.
Oh yeah, there was multiple.
I think they only did that because it's like mob mentality of this movie.
Yeah.
Because that is a like kind of a theme of this movie is that like the mob is trying to, what's the word, like
the
a bunch of citizens come together to form a mob to attack and kill Michael Myers.
It's almost like Frankenstein's monster.
That was the vibe that I got from it too. I do like that.
Yeah.
Where's I gonna go after that? Um, so we here's where I was gonna go. It's almost like modern. I mean, it does take place in modern times, but it's dealing with a similar issue. Like I guess it's a social commentary thing, which I know
Mhm.
kind of will scare people away. But it's like the, this mob that is trying to kill Michael Myers pretty much says that the cops didn't do their job
Yeah.
and they failed the town of Haddonfield again. And it's almost like what we dealt with last year,
Mhm.
going on with like the um, Black Lives Matter not riots, but protests. And
Mhm.
I don't want to get into all that, but
Yeah.
it seems like a commentary on um
On stuff like
like
that.
like a bunch of people coming together because a, s- a system is failing them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they did that intentionally because this movie was written in 2019 and shot in 2019.
Mm.
It happened to
Oh
be
yeah. So.
like months prior to happened in 2020.
Mhm. Yeah. So it probably wasn't written because of that. I know I've seen stuff in movies where it's been written because of that.
Yeah. I am speaking of like modern issues, and then we can get off of this topic. I'm worried about Halloween Ends because David Gordon Green came out and said that they they've finished writing the script for Halloween Ends.
Mhm.
They rewrote it because of the year gap that they had to take because of the pandemic pushing everything back. And Halloween Ends is supposed to take place in the year it's released, so that'll be 2022.
Oh, okay.
So there will be a 4-year gap between uh, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. And
So I wonder
he,
if maybe they'll do something like he disappeared, kind of like Rob Zombie's movies where they just don't know where he's at.
I don't mind the time jump for one thing,
Mhm. No.
but issue is like this Michael Myers doesn't seem to be that attached to the day of Halloween.
Yeah.
So, because like they happen to be transferring him on October 30th in 1978, and then he escapes. In 2018, they happen to be transferring him on October 30th. He escapes. Like it's just it's a plot convenience.
Yeah.
Um, like nowhere is it said that on Halloween night he returns. Like that's just how it happens.
Yeah.
So I
Laura even
am
said something like that in the movie.
yeah. I think the last line one of the last lines in the movie is that I forget exactly what she says, but
Something about he could return tomorrow. He could return next Halloween. Or we
yeah.
don't know.
So first off, I don't want to see Michael Myers return on uh, April 10th. I don't want that, which I don't think they're going to do. But the other thing that worries me about what David Gordon Green said is he said it takes place in a post-pandemic world.
Mm.
So in this timeline, like all of this stuff happened in 2018, and
Yeah.
then the pandemic happened in 2020, and then 2 years later, we're supposed to like Michael Myers survived the pandemic, even though he's elderly and at risk, and
He got
and re-
vaccinated.
and returns to kill in 2022.
Yeah.
But we'll get there when we get there, I guess.
I don't mind the time jump either because we don't want all three movies to take place on the same night.
think they were supposed to. I just have a hard time believing that this Michael Myers would be so focused on terrorizing the town of Haddonfield every Halloween, or like not every
Yeah.
Halloween, but like they did hint. So they kind of hinted at the beginning of the movie, and I don't know if they hinted or it's just me overthinking it. But they kind of make it seem like Michael Myers is just angrier than he's ever been now, because like he almost died. So
Mhm.
he just creates this like line of carnage straight toward his house.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the idea, that like he's just so angry now because like at the end of 2018, Laurie and Karen and Allison tricked him and almost burnt him
A lot.
alive.
Yeah.
Maybe now he's so mad at the town of Haddonfield because they almost shot him dead in the middle of the street.
Mhm.
You know?
It's kind of sad because I feel like that ending was the ending we got in this movie almost. Or the almost ending we got was like perfect. I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we still need to make a third movie.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got too, because it was
Yeah.
like, so I mean, we could kind of talk about this scene now, but there's a scene where they show another patient that happened to escape with Michael.
Yeah.
He was just out doing his own thing, and
He was the other one they didn't catch.
yeah. First off, did you catch the it's not even really an Easter egg, but that's what I'm gonna call it. And this patient that they didn't catch ends up kind of hijacking a car, and that song he's playing, it's like Figaro or whatever.
Yeah.
That is the in the intro of 2018, there's one of the patients is screaming those lyrics in that like courtyard thing. Did you notice that?
No.
So it's like maybe that's what they listen to, Smith's Grove.
Maybe.
But that was just something I noticed.
He decided to put it on when he jacked the car.
But where was I going? We were talking about this patient. So the mob like kind of pretty much they don't know what Michael Myers looks like, so they're just killing anybody with a Smith's Grove name on their shirt. So,
Yeah.
so as we know from 2018, Michael ditched the Smith's Grove wardrobe and put on a jumpsuit.
Yeah, he stole it from the gas station, right?
Yeah, but this guy did not. So he happens to show up at the hospital where this angry mob is at, and they're like, "Oh, this must be Michael Myers." In reality, he just got in a car wreck and was like, needed help.
Yeah.
So
I know a couple people said it wasn't him.
yeah, like I think Karen kind of realizes it wasn't him.
I know Lee Brackett knew it wasn't him.
Yeah, they end up they pretty much corner this poor patient, which I mean he could have been a murderer for all I know because he wasn't Smith's Grove, so maybe he's not innocent as it seems.
Yeah.
But they pretty much corner him and drive him to commit suicide by jumping off of the 6-story window or whatever. And
yeah.
So I think it's Sheriff Brackett says like he's like Michael Myers is turning us into monsters or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And I like that. I really like that aspect of it because it's like we're really trying to kill this guy who's terrorizing our town, but like we're also
Killing people.
yeah, it's like that angry mob in Halloween 4 who happens to shoot up the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
Yeah,
I better
I got the callback to not really a callback to Halloween 4, but I got the vibes a little bit.
it's funny because I was just about to say I better not hear anybody say that is an Easter egg Halloween 4 because it is
It's-
not. It's just the plot of the movie.
Yeah, I don't really think they paid homage to Halloween 4 by doing that.
Yeah. So after they drive this person to kill themselves, like they come together.
They settle down.
Yeah, they get a bunch of members of the town to pretty much gang up on Michael Myers and kill him. And like they shoot him in the chest, they like beat him with a bat. Then as Sheriff Brackett is about to shoot Michael in the head, execute him, he gets the strength. I mean, I should say he remembers that there's still another movie to make. So
Like, oh crap.
he's like, oh, I'm supposed to live for another movie. So he throws the knife at Sheriff Brackett and kills him. And then he kills literally everybody.
They all ran out
Like
of bullets by then. Now, that part, I wasn't the biggest fan of.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said right after the movie ended that should have been the ending
Yeah.
of Halloween Ends. Like it because it creates like a redemption arc for the town who has been like turning on each other now because of this.
A lot of the characters that were there kind of like face up to what they went through for 40 years. Like, Sheriff Brackett, because he killed Annie 40 years ago. And Tommy, because he's never able to really get over the fact that he almost died. Very similar to Laurie, only if Laurie was there, she would have died too.
But not quite as psychotic as Paul Rudd's Tommy Doyle from Halloween 6.
Yeah.
What did you think about all of the original characters returning? Because Marion Chambers, who dies for the second time in this franchise.
I was happy to see a lot of them come back and see all the familiar faces and characters.
We get Lindsay Wallace, who I kind of wish had a bigger role.
Yeah, I'm glad she lived.
Yeah, she's the only one that lived, isn't she? Out of all the people that returned.
Yeah, I think
Brackett died. Tommy Doyle died. Marion Chambers died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. It was cool to have them all back, and I like you said Tommy Doyle is almost like Laurie Strode because like he goes up on stage on Halloween night and like the only thing he could talk about is like let's all pay respects to the people that died 40 years ago when Michael Myers attacked.
Now the only difference is Laurie was more. We actually see it, and we have to see the results of the way they're different because Laurie was more strategic with her obsession over Michael, and Tommy just kind of acted out on his first thoughts, like, "Oh, we need to do this. Let's do this and see what happens." And we see Laurie lived because she was strategic, and then Tommy ended up dying because he was like acting out on a whim.
Yeah, I like that because
that's the only way I could justify killing him.
Yeah, because like he's the one who immediately is like, this guy has Smith's Grove on his on his shirt, and he must be Michael Myers.
Yeah. Yeah, Tommy doesn't really think of. He's almost the replacement Loomis again.
Hmm.
But even Dr. Loomis was more strategic too.
Yeah.
But it's like everybody that survives an encounter with Michael ends up obsessed.
Hmm. Yeah, I like that because even with Allison, I mean, granted, he did kill her father, but like she spent like an hour with him or something
Yeah.
through the car ride, and then at Laurie's house, and then she's like obsessed with the idea of like helping Cameron and
Mm-hmm.
Lonnie like hunt down and kill Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I forgot about Lonnie, who makes a return.
Yeah. He didn't really have much of a part in the first one, just a little scene.
Yeah.
Go in.
Yeah. Because like they do show young Tommy Doyle having an encounter with Michael Myers, which I accidentally found that out like a year and a half ago. The picture got leaked of this little boy who happened to have that red coat like Lonnie
Yeah.
and Michael Myers with the 78 mask. So I knew that was going to be in there for a while,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know. You don't know how it's going to play out or anything.
Yeah.
I do like. I think when Michael's like standing over Lonnie, he says something like that he won't pick on Tommy Doyle anymore or something.
Mm-hmm.
If like he survives this encounter, 'cause it's like one of those things where like, oh, I'll do anything to survive this. Like I won't. But when you're that young, you're like I won't bully Tommy Doyle anymore.
Yeah.
Then we find out that they were actually friends, which I think Tommy Doyle mentions when he's paying tribute to the victims from the
Yeah.
original movie.
I think they had to do that too because I don't know if the general audience is going to remember Lindsay or I can't remember the other woman's name. What's her name?
Marion Chambers,
Yeah.
the doctor.
And they showed the little flashbacks.
Yeah,
Like they showed Annie.
yeah. I did you notice that Annie flashback was from Halloween 2?
Yeah.
I thought that was
Which they can technically use that scene because that's how it would have played out regardless.
yeah because Brackett says at one point like my daughter was killed and I wasn't there when Michael was caught, and if I was there, he would be dead.
Yeah, because he was finding her. Yeah, I noticed that too. I don't want people to start thinking, "Ooh, the second movie counts too," because it doesn't. It was just that's how it would have worked anyways, and we needed archive footage, and this is what we have, so we're gonna use it because she obviously can't come back and play teenage Andy or Annie.
I like I forget what I was going to say. I was about to say it, and then I got sidetracked, and I don't know. It's not important. But another thing I was going to say is I saw an interview with David Gordon Green, and this guy was like, says something to the effect of, I think I can create a scenario where Halloween 2 is still canon.
Mm-hmm.
And the line that they say in 2018 was they say like something wasn't Michael Myers Laurie's brother. Then
Yeah.
Allison says no, it's just something people made up. So if you think about it that way, when they say that Michael and Laurie are brother and sister in Halloween 2 was just a made up scenario, and like it wasn't
Yeah.
actually real. It wasn't actually real, and they just made it up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think it's canon because
Yeah, they kind of ruined all senses of it being canon with this movie because they show him being captured.
yeah. So, what do you think of like Marion Chambers' death, and I forget the two people with the doctor's costumes, like one's a doctor, one's a nurse.
I knew they had to die, but I actually liked all three of them.
Yeah.
Well, at the time, I didn't know they were going to kill off everybody that returned except for Lindsay. So I was like, oh, well, I guess her dying makes the most sense.
Yeah, the idea of like feeling that no one is safe, I really like that idea.
Yeah,
Because it's like anyone can die at any moment, and then at the end of the movie they actually kind of
do that.
like really make you feel that way.
Yeah.
I do want to say, when Michael Myers kills these three and puts the silver shamrock masks on their faces,
Yeah.
he was doing those kids a favor. Because
The giveaway was about to happen.
yeah, and if you notice on the masks,
The
do have-
logo. Yeah.
they have those chips on them.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
So a piece of Stonehenge is in that mask, and they're about to have their heads turned into bugs. And I
When
think
I
I'd
was-
much rather I'd much rather encounter Michael Myers and die that way.
Now, when I was watching Halloween 3 the other day, I don't know why I always thought the bugs came out of the chips. No, the chips made bugs come out of your head. And then I saw the snakes coming out of the kid's mouth.
Oh, I
And
never
so-
noticed that either.
Yeah, and he was like, they're kind of still alive while that's going on for a bit, so that's awful.
So it's like you're just sitting there, and then
You have bugs and creatures coming out of you, and you can't stop it.
I thought it was just I thought the bugs and stuff just came from the chip too.
The things you see when you have a 4K TV, and because I never noticed them, the snakes were coming out of his mouth, or they were coming out of the mask.
So
But yeah, I loved that.
where else can we go in this movie to talk about? There was a kill near the Strode residence, where Michael kills that couple in like that rundown house. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
With the drone.
yeah.
Um,
the
That
kills.
one was
The kills in this movie were a lot.
they're very brutal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and most of them
He-
don't die right away.
That's why I got the vibe, because he like in the first movie he kind of plays with people, especially
Mhm.
Laurie at the end of that movie, where he's kind of like setting up these traps. And then
Yeah,
in 2018 he's like playing with the teeth and dropping it into the bathroom stall.
hmm
Then in this movie he'll like kill you but still be alive. And
he makes it last longer.
so he breaks the tube light, stabs this woman in the neck, and just like stares into her soul.
And makes her watch her husband get stabbed repeatedly
Yeah,
and pinned to the counter with knives.
yeah. The only thing I can, only reason I can, the only way I can make sense of that is that he just, it's kind of like when he kills Bob and he just like stares at Bob.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, he like kind of wonder what would happen if I did this. And
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, this is fun. Let me do it again.
Yeah.
Trying to think, where else do we go? We talked about Marion Chambers and the two
I like
nurses dying.
I like how they redeemed Cameron.
Yeah. 'Cause he kind of just disappears in the last movie.
Yeah. And he's the one that found Hawkins and saved
Yeah,
his life.
I like how they brought back Hawkins. I don't like how Jamie Lee Curtis spoiled that they brought back Hawkins like 2 weeks ago on Instagram.
Yeah. But that's fine. Now, I did notice when she thought that Michael was dead, she was able to resume her life and admit to her feelings for him. But the second she found out that Michael's still alive, her obsession came right back.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't notice that, but that's
Like she was finally able to relax after 40 years and just be normal for a minute.
then it's like, oh, he's still alive.
How do you feel about Karen?
She's much better in this one
Yeah.
than she was in the last one. I didn't. I felt
almost
like.
felt like she was blaming Lori at first.
Mhm.
So like she brought us to her house and my husband died. So I was like, oh, okay. But she doesn't really act on that throughout the whole movie. She just says something like that to the cop. And then the one they're piecing together her story and Allison's story to figure out what happened.
Yeah. I felt like she was very miscast in the first movie. I don't know who they could have got to play that role.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought she was the wrong actress to do it.
Yeah, I think she did better in this movie.
I even like the scene because like you were texting me earlier about how you don't like Ray,
Yeah.
but like as an audience we don't really like Ray, but like that was her husband,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, even though we didn't like Ray, that
I get it.
So she has this good scene where she's like washing her hands of blood and like she sees her wedding ring on her hand
Yeah.
and she just goes in the room and just like loses it
Mm-hmm.
and then comes out and is like, I still have a daughter that I have to be strong for because like I lost my husband, but my daughter lost her father.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's very good in those scenes. Yeah, I just don't know if her character was written different or if maybe she was doing something different. But she was a lot better in this one than she was in the last one.
Yeah.
And even toward the end of the movie when Allison is about to get killed, she rips Michael's mask off, or I'm sorry, Allison is telling Michael like do it, and then
Mhm.
Karen shows up and stabs Michael with a pitchfork, and it's like, first off, just keep going, like don't
Yeah.
just
Don't stop.
don't stab him once and then kick him in the head and then be done with it. Like keep going, but like she takes his mask off and then like ends up kind of luring him into the
The mob.
Yeah.
The big trap.
And even like in those scenes, like it's just so much better than like anything she did in the last movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, where else can we go with this movie?
Mm,
I'm glad they kept Michael away from the hospital.
yeah.
Because we've seen that twice already.
Yeah, we don't need it again.
Just like we've seen Michael Myers get burnt before.
Yeah.
He's been and burnt to death 3 times.
Yeah, he only had light burns this time
Yeah.
because he was able to hide in that little. I guess it was like a closet or something.
hmm
I guess he hid in there when she was putting all the trap doors down
Yeah.
because we don't even
Um,
see him at the end of the other movie.
do you get the vibe that this movie makes the 2018 movie better?
Yeah.
'Cause I even when I like left the theater with the 2018 movie, it was like, yeah, there's just something missing here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what it is, but
Yeah, this one makes
just,
it better.
it feels very incomplete. And I think it's just cuz we went back to 1978 maybe, and maybe that's why this movie feels more complete,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it's cuz we get like Tommy Doyle and Z and Sheriff Brackett back.
Yeah.
But I can live with the flaws of the 2018 movie, knowing that the movie was after it.
Yeah. I really want to watch them back to back.
I want to do that too. Maybe one day leading up to Halloween, I'm gonna watch like the trilogy up to
Mm-hmm.
the end of Halloween Kills. Um, yeah, I just really wish this was the end. Unfortunately, and like when I say that, it's like this is my favorite franchise ever. Like I know people get this way with like Star Wars and like the Marvel movies, and
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever your favorite franchise might be. Like this is my favorite franchise. And on one hand, I'm like I want more movies. On
Yeah.
the other hand, I'm like I don't want to end up back in the same place we were with getting Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers or Halloween Resurrection, you know.
Yeah.
It's like we don't
I don't think Halloween Ends could be like that.
the only reason I'm worried is just because I don't know where it would go from here.
Yeah.
I mean, I have ideas. So, I mean, what happens at the end of this movie is that, like we said, Michael survives the mob, and he shows back.
I just wish
Okay.
maybe they could have killed him, or they thought they killed him and then they leave, or most of them leave, and maybe like Sheriff Brackett and like 2 other people stay behind to like dispose of the body, and the ones that leave, they leave with Tommy, and they kind of just go their own way, and then we get those 3 dying instead of him attacking and killing the whole mob.
Yeah, because like, imagine if
Because that way
imagine if he
you get like the sad death with it being Sheriff Brackett, because he survived 40 years, he survived all this just to die, and then the other 2 random people die too, so you still get that.
like imagine if they like actually went through with like the execution, shot him in the head,
Yeah.
and then he still lived.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, I don't know if that's kind of I mean, he was shot in the chest a bunch of times by this mob and then
Yeah.
beaten, but it's like I would almost like just go through with the execution and have him shot in the head, and then like he's like your scenario where he just kills a few of them
Yeah.
and then shows up back
they're
at
gone.
the Myers house. He shows up back at the Myers house and kills Karen.
No, I don't know how he got in there. I'm assuming he used the back door.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
because everybody else was on the front porch.
They were first off, like Allison's boyfriend was just killed, and they just sit her on the front porch.
Well, I'm assuming he
And-
was taken out since.
Because they show him hanging off of the steps still.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Well, she's about to get up and go. I don't know how they're gonna have to show some type of aftermath because Karen died.
hmm
So they're gonna have to show it either at the beginning or at some point in the next movie.
hmm How do you feel about the Mayor's house being lived in?
It's all right.
I mean, I guess after what happened in 1978, where he went back to that house and was arrested there, I feel like it would only make sense to either have the house torn down or have someone crazy enough to have bought the house to live in.
Well, you see, they use the story throughout.
To scare,
Yeah, to scare people.
'cause I wouldn't.
Big John and Little John.
So before we get to them, I don't think that house would have been able to stay vacant, because somebody would have trashed it by now, and it would have gotten to points where it was like, it would have had to be torn down.
Because we saw them throwing stuff at it in Halloween 2.
Yeah. Yeah. So Big John and Little John are a gay couple who now live in the Myers house, and they are hilarious.
Yeah, they're the comedic relief in the movie. They're what Ray should have been.
Yeah. So there's a scene where they know somebody's in the house, and they know it's an adult, and like they're aware that they live in the Myers house, so they know something's up. And they go looking through the house, and I don't know if it's Big John or Little John. It's one of the Johns. It just startles himself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the comedic relief, but it's like, I mean, it is a little bit over the top, because I don't think that's like the reality to where you would scare yourself in the mirror like that in a funny
No.
way. I mean, I didn't really mind it. It's better than
No, because we had comedic relief with Annie in the first one.
yeah, and it's better than I got peanut butter on my penis.
Yeah. Because I did not laugh at that.
No, it's just the fact that no one uses the word penis in like just normal language.
Yeah.
Like, you would say, "I got it on my balls" or something. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now,
I know what
do you think they're gonna bring anybody else back for the last one? Or if there's anybody else to bring back?
I don't think there's anybody to bring back anymore. Sheriff Brackett's dead. I mean, they could bring back Lindsay.
Yeah.
That would probably be the only one I could think of that they could bring back.
As long as they don't kill her.
I mean, for the last movie, I'd be fine with killing her, I guess.
And I know a lot of people still want to see Danielle Harris come back into the
I do not.
I guess that's basically what that debate was about. Like, would you want to see her? Because I know she wanted to come back, and people wanted to see her back.
No, I don't.
I saw people trying to come up with different scenarios on how they can bring her back, and I did not like any of the scenarios people suggested. But I like Danielle Harris, and I feel like she's an important part in the Halloween movies. And I know she was offended that they erased her from this timeline.
Yeah.
I guess they can, if they really wanted to, they can bring her in and just have her play a different character again. Or after
I-
Halloween ends, why don't they just do another thing where they erase Halloween 6 and do a sequel to Halloween 5 and just go with the Thorn storyline again and have her come back and do the movie she wanted to do?
I mean,
Can you
I don't
imagine
know.
if they did that?
I don't know. I don't want to go down that route to making random sequels to random
Yeah.
Halloween movies. And I don't think they would do it. but-
Technically, they brought her back for Rob Zombie's movies. So that
yeah, but
you
she
think?
was she was an adult and she looked
Yeah.
different than she did when she was in Halloween 5.
And it's like that's in a way that's good enough because they did bring her back for other Michael Myers movies. But I still would like to see her again.
They won't do it, but this is an idea I have where they could do. You know how Marvel has that show called What If,
Yeah.
and it just plays out like random scenarios that could happen in the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they could do something like that with Halloween. I mean, I doubt they would because I don't think they would have the budget to do anything like that.
Yeah.
It would be cool if they could do some like a 8-episode miniseries or something of like what if Halloween 4 was a sequel to Halloween 3,
Yeah.
and like what if you could come up with a sequel to Halloween 5 now.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know.
Yeah,
They'll never do it.
no,
They'll never do it, but you know.
I guess even if they brought her in for a cameo role, like just to be a character that gets killed.
I just don't know. I just don't really want her back. As bad as it sounds, because she was good in Halloween 4 and 5, and she was good in Rob Zombie's movies, but it's like your character was written off, and
Mhm.
like you're not like you're dead in the Rob Zombie movies, and that franchise is no longer going anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say for me because I don't know how they would do it, but I would like to see her in another Michael Myers movie. But it doesn't really
Yeah.
have to happen because she's still set with the 4 that
Yeah.
she's in.
Yeah. I don't know.
Might as well
Like
bring,
I got
let's bring back Tina. No.
no. I got tired of seeing Danielle Harris campaign to be in one of these movies, and same with Brian Andrews, who played Tommy Doyle in the original. I got tired of seeing.
I didn't know he campaigned for it.
Yeah, like I got so tired of seeing them campaign to be in these Halloween movies that now I just don't want to see him in the Halloween movies.
Yeah.
Brian Andrews, I think is his name, who played Tommy Doyle in the original. He was allegedly was a part of the official Halloween message board and was like real creepy with women on that website.
Mm.
And like I don't know. I guess
So
he
they replaced him, or they just didn't want to bring him back.
set.
Did they just like replace him because of that, or they just didn't want to bring him back and decided this actor would be a better Tommy than him?
I mean, it's probably all of the above. Because his way of trying to get into the Halloween franchise was to complain about what they were doing. So it's like Halloween 2018 was garbage. You need to put me in Halloween Kills. And it's like that's not how you do it.
I was kind of worried about this movie and the way where I know it takes place in the same night as the first one, or Halloween 2018. So I was worried how they were going to do that. And basically, they just did, well, while this was going on, we were here at the bar with these characters. So we just saw other people's perspectives of the same night. And then they all came together later on. So I like that.
You would think it would be November 1st though, because Laurie goes through surgery and they have to the ambulance has to pick up Hawkins.
Well, they did say Halloween is over
Yeah,
at one
they do
point in the
mention
movie.
that.
So I guess it did bleed into November 1st.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just one of those scenarios where people don't consider it the next day until they wake up.
Yeah.
So it's like it could be 4 a.m. on November 1st, but we haven't
It's
been to
still
sleep. We haven't been to sleep yet, so it's still Halloween.
Yeah.
Trying to think of any other things we could discuss. So, I mean, it's kind of nitpicking because he's great, and what they did with the last movie was great. But I was kind of disappointed in the score for this movie.
Mhm.
There were like the Halloween theme over the opening credits was kind of lackluster,
Mhm.
and there was no like score that stood out to me like "The Shape Hunts Allison" from the first movie.
Yeah.
You know that song?
I can't think of it.
I'll play a snippet of it. It's when when Allison sees Oscar on the fence.
Oh, okay.
Like that sound with the electric guitars is like haunting.
Mhm.
And that's the sound that appears when Michael shows up from around the corner. But yeah, there were no, at least on the first watch, and I mean there might be a song that I just didn't
Didn't pick up.
catch the first time, but yeah, there was no song like that that stood out in this movie. But I mean, they nailed the score because I think they went back when we were in 1978 in this movie. They used the score from the first movie.
Oh, I didn't even
I thought-
notice that.
And I thought that was a nice touch. Like, then I think it's the shape Doc's Laurie or something like that.
Mm.
Like the dun, dun. It's the same from the original, I believe.
Mm. Yeah, I didn't catch that.
What did you think of the way Michael Myers looks in this movie?
I was fine with it. I think the mask could have been a little more burnt or something. But I think he looked fine.
There's something about masks that Michael Myers has where I like when the movie lets them get dirty.
Mhm. Well, that's good damage.
Because like Halloween 4 through 8 was brand new white mask every movie.
Yeah.
And then Rob Zombie was like, well, it would make sense that this mask was in the floorboards for 15 years, so obviously it would rot, so why don't we?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Michael Myers was homeless and he lived in the woods, so
So the mask is gonna rot away more.
it would rot away and it would turn brown. So it's
Mhm.
like, so I mean, they're obviously like not aging like actual latex would, but
Yeah.
it's probably one of my favorite masks. I think I actually like it more than the 2018 mask.
Mhm.
The 2018 mask, I mean I guess it goes for this one too. It looks like it's like has wrinkles,
Yeah.
which I thought was cool because like Michael Myers is an old man now,
Mhm.
and it almost has wrinkles like a human would.
It's hard to believe he's an old man.
Yeah, it's like when
He's very strong.
it's like he's literally getting shot in the chest and getting beat up, and he's just standing up.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I am curious to see the alternate ending.
yeah. Well, I did want to say, like, our mom is like the same age as Michael Myers, and like if you bump into her the wrong way, she's going down.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So, before we saw this movie, I told you that I saw online that David Gordon Green has said this is breaking news on Attempted Topics. If you haven't,
Oh.
if you don't know, they're apparently releasing an extended version of Halloween Kills with Blu-ray, and it will include an alternate ending that was cut from the film. So, yeah, I'm interested in what they could have done.
Yeah,
Because
too.
it almost feels like could have just killed Michael Myers in the street and executed him, and then you could have ended the movie.
Yeah.
I'm reading this real time once again, so forgive me if I slip up.
Okay.
It says, in an interview with Collider, David Gordon Green discusses his upcoming Halloween Kills and the struggles of creating a second to last chapter, in particular getting the ending right, which, like we said, we're kind of split on, so do you understand
Yeah,
that?
not 100%.
He reveals that when the Blu-ray releases, it will feature an extended cut of the film with an ending that takes things in a slightly different direction. The alternate ending came because Green didn't totally know where Halloween Ends was going to begin. After figuring out that beginning, however, it became clear the extended ending wasn't feeling right. It was axed.
Mhm.
Says, oh, here's the full quote that I'm going to read real quick. Quote, this is the director's cut through and through. There's an additional scene that we filmed that was scripted, saying that the movie that was released is the director's cut. So this is his version. Actually, I think it's a pretty brilliant scene. So we're going to do an extended version on the DVD or Blu-ray. Just so
Like their
people can,
final disc.
yeah, just so people can see an extended ending that's different and cool. We ended up lifting it when I became more confident of where we were going to pick up the next movie. It didn't feel authentic to where we were going to go, so we lifted it. I think it was cool in its own right as watching a one-off movie, knowing where we're going to. I told you I'd mess up. Knowing where we're going to exactly where we're going to pick up, which you'll know in a year, wasn't the right look in the eye that we needed to give the audience.
Mm.
So
when are they filming the next movie?
you would probably assume,
Soon.
yeah. No, they shot this movie.
Because it's supposed to come out next year.
Yeah, they shot this movie in like, I think it was September, October. They shot 2018 in like January.
Mm.
So, I mean, it's not unheard of to shoot a movie in like January, February, March, and then release in October. So
Yeah.
you could do it, but yeah, you would assume they would get the ball moving pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Especially because obviously I think this is going to be successful because the showing we went to was pretty full,
Mm-hmm.
which is weird. I mean, not weird, but like during a pandemic is
Yeah.
rare to come by. So,
A good horror movie brings everybody out of their homes.
not really sure if I have anything else to talk about in this episode.
Ooh, ooh. Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, it's definitely going up on the top. Like as of right now, it's definitely up there in my king of the Halloween franchise.
Yeah. I think it's just like a fun slasher movie too. It has cool death scenes.
And that's why I think critics aren't liking it as much as they did the last movie, because critics have been known to be more harsh on like slasher films.
Uh-huh.
Like we've talked about slasher films in the past on this podcast, like Friday the 13th Part 3.
Yeah.
we think is a good movie, but it's like 7% on Rotten Tomatoes just because it's a slasher
Mhm.
movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
But it had good references to the original, and it continues the story perfectly. The flashbacks are all done good.
yeah, it's probably what I wanted from 2018, but in this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, right from the beginning. I was
Like
shook.
everything. Like it's weird because David Gordon Green said that he wanted to go back and do something with the 1978 movie, and John Carpenter was like, "You don't need to do that. Do your own thing."
Mm-hmm.
And it's like he got the
He kind of
confidence to go.
did both. He went back and did his own thing with it, and it still matched up really well.
Yeah,
And he caught
mean,
the essence.
John Carpenter might have told him not to do it because he wanted to go back and change the ending. He wanted to have Michael Myers kill Dr. Loomis, and then Laurie shot him off the balcony or something like that,
Oh,
or Sheriff Brackett shot him off the balcony or something. And it's like, you don't have to do that,
no.
because like what he did in this is just an extension of 1978. It's not like he went back and changed anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have to do recommendations this episode.
No, we could just recommend that everybody go to the theater to see this if you can. If not, stream it on Peacock.
Yeah.
They offer free trials, I believe.
That's cool.
I think. I'm not 100% sure. I know all the other streaming services do. So if you don't have Peacock, might as well just get a free trial and watch it.
Yeah.
They have other horror movies on there too.
Their lineup on for they're calling it Peacocktober. Like they have, I think most of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, Friday the 13th,
Yeah, they got a lot on there.
Universal Monsters,
Scary stories.
yeah. So that's why I'm going to recommend Peacock for your.
Yeah.
And
then
if you
recommend Halloween Kills.
which you can watch Halloween Kills on Peacock. So there you go. They go hand in hand. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got. I think we're actually planning on watching this again on Saturday night.
Mm.
I think Jesse asked in the group chat if we wanted to watch it on Saturday.
Oh.
She does have 2 kids, so I'm not sure how well that viewing will go. So maybe it'll drop to last on my rankings after that experience.
All you'll think of is children yelling when you watch that movie.
Yeah. But yeah. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, because this is the first time we've actually watched like we've watched a movie and then an hour later turned around and did an episode on it. So
Yeah.
um
Without notes.
yeah, so if this is your first time listening, we encourage you to stick around because next week we will be doing a franchise ranking. And what is that franchise we're ranking?
Friday the 13th.
You would
We're
assume
trying We're trying to make Jason relevant because he's never going to get another movie ever again.
need something. I mean, the video game was good.
Yeah.
My number one in the ranking. The video game.
Yeah, you would assume we would have done Child's Play since that's making a comeback, or Scream. But Scream, you could just do a ranking real easily.
They're in order. No, you can't. No, 'cause I would flip 3 and 4, but yeah.
I would say 1, 4, 2, 3.
Say 1, 2, 4, 3. But yeah, next week we'll rank Friday the 13th franchise. Also, if you want to watch every Halloween film except for The Curse of Michael Myers, they are and 2018. They're all on AMC Plus, the subscription service. That,
I can't believe they did that to Halloween 6. I mean, I can believe it, but
yeah, the only ones that aren't on there are 6, 2018, and the new one. And I wish they would have renamed Halloween 2018 to something else. But
I don't know. Yeah. We don't want another Halloween 2.
no, I noticed on the Blu-ray releases they've been putting Halloween 40 years later.
Yeah.
Like it's on the slip covers for the Halloween season.
Mm.
But
Yeah, because they did Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. They could have did Halloween Starts.
yeah. Halloween starts, Halloween kills, Halloween ends. Yeah. I'm interested to see where the franchise, like where the next movie will go, because I think I was always under the impression that it should have been Allison's movie. So
Yeah.
I mean, and it still probably could be.
Mm-hmm. But this one
But-
wasn't really Laurie's movie.
That's what I'm worried about, because they're gonna make this next one Laurie versus Michael. Like, instead of Allison being like, "You killed my mom, so I'm gonna kill you," it's gonna be, "You killed my
You killed-
daughter, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna kill you."
Allison should get a TV series then.
I don't know what she should get, but
Just call the series Strode. Follow the lives of the remaining Strode family.
some flashbacks of Jamie Lee Curtis training young Karen to shoot a gun, losing her husband and her children.
Yeah. I like
I
how I
thought-
mentioned Ben Tramer.
I thought that they were going to reveal that Hawkins was Karen's father.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said something about Ben Tramer, so maybe something
Ben
happened.
Ben Tramer's the father.
Maybe.
Can't believe Michael Myers was Laurie Strode's father.
Mm.
Right, but I think that's all I got. You could have, and you look like you're ready to fall asleep over there, so
Not really.
we'll have of the Halloween songs that I played play us out.
In reverse order.
Yeah. So yeah, go check out Halloween Kills. It's very good. We recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
Follow us on all of the social medias at Attempted Topics. Through there, you can find our personal social medias. And yeah, I got.
Until next time, trick or treat.